What up? What's good? What's hot? What's happening? Welcome to another hot episode of POPradio. My name is Miss Cosmo, as I am every single week. And of course, I give you hot interviews with the hottest people and the hottest, celebs, rappers, entertainers in South A. And of course, how can I not have the one and only Yanga Chief? Please say the Chief.
Tango.
Yes, he decided today that he wants to be a co-host.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
he's gonna be pressing all of the audios.
Huh? Yeah, I got you. Don't worry.
Give us your intro.
One thing I can tell you, you're the hip hop. Get hip hop.
Get hip hop, dog.
Understand? Get hip hop,
I got you.
Get hip hop.
For sure.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I was a little nervous doing this interview for today because you have done the other podcast, so I was like, "Hey, manjeng so kunmangani," because Yanga spoken about his whole life.
For sure.
On the other two podcasts that I had watched, I'm not too sure if you had done any others.
Yeah.
But I figured, kind of give it a little bit of a different spin. Speak about obviously music, obviously everything else that you're kind of about, but of course, just having a young child.
I think the other ones
future.
are about the past. So I think it's nothing new.
But you have to start in the past to get yourself to the future.
Yeah, we've started.
Oh.
This is the future now.
Okay. There goes my first question.
No, let's start. I'm playing.
All right. So, obviously everybody kind of knows you as a musician. Everybody knows the kind of artistic person that you are. But obviously growing up in Queenstown, growing up in a town like that, you are obviously very involved in the sporting aspects of things as well. How was it that you actually got to a point where you chose your artistic part over the actual sport? Because anybody who is Xhosa grows up loving rugby. They don't understand the soccer thing. They don't understand this cricket thing. Xhosa is a very big part of, listen to me, rugby is a very big part of the culture in the Eastern Cape.
Sure.
Why was that not your direction?
It really actually costs money to be successful in sport.
It costs money to be an artist.
No, for example, I'll say to get in past any level in rugby, you have to have your backing from home. You have to be there at all the games. You have to stay over and get extra lessons and all those things. You have to buy your own equipment. These are things you can't do without. Comparing that to rapping in your room, financially, I think the music kind of makes more sense. And also I never really needed my parents for anything when I was doing music out here, But when it comes to sport, there's so many finances involved, and it's not just me. There's a lot of people who ended up working 9-to-5s that were really good at sport, that were way better than me in high school,
Really?
That also didn't make it, and it's because it takes more than just your talent and your ability. You have to actually be able to travel outside of what the school provides as a budget. You have to literally dig deep in your parents' pockets, and I just don't think that I wanted to even put my parents through that. I'd already put them through a lot just by going to a good school. So once I matriculated, I never really asked my parents for anything. Yeah,
and you were just what, hustler spirit, let's move on.
For sure.
Let's push this thing.
I tried to play sport here and there. I was really good at hockey and stuff, but I was a goalkeeper and I couldn't afford the goalkeeper kit. You had to have your own kit.
Really? Why?
And
they're supposed to provide that.
I was so good at hockey. I was one of provincial hockey players and stuff, but I just didn't have the funds to keep it going.
Yeah. Looking at things like that, where you're having a conversation around it's expensive to get into sport, which is something that should, by virtue of I attend the school, so because I'm paying the school fees,
for sure,
I need to have access to certain equipment. And it's obviously just a big conversation, and I bring it back again to the culture of rugby in the Eastern Cape. Do you think there is a lot of support that's coming in, even from a governmental perspective, of how we can kind of grow that and nurture that? Because I also think the Eastern Cape was always kind of coming number last when it comes to let's take it to the top.
Yeah.
What things do you think can kind of take things to the next level? Because I know you've been engaging with Dalindyebo there. Are you trying to be a king or what's going on? Huh?
Those are two totally separate things.
Oh, really?
So, Dalindyebo was like he's my pops.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like proper like adopted me nice. So when I go out to Mtata side, I have like some sort of family also there.
Yeah.
With him, been very supportive. You know, whenever I touch down, I just hit him up and everything's taken care of, which is really dope. I appreciate that. And we have a dope relationship because, like, you know, I was showing him love, you know, during his toughest times. And so, yeah, I think, you know, like I'll tell you this, it is about money to get into sport, to get into music, to get into whatever. But more than anything, it's really about relationships. You know, you need to be able to build relationships with people that can actually help. And maintain those relationships also. And that's where it comes in, like, what kind of person are you? A good person?
Yeah.
Or a backstabber or whatever. Those things come into account because sometimes you can do it without money, but you just always have to have good relationships, you know?
Yeah. I know you constantly kind of going back to the EC. I think there was the one time where I bumped into Yanga in the club. Both of us very drunk, very lit. And you were talking about working on like projects to kind of build the province up a little bit more, trying to do a little bit more. Is there anything specific that you think you can kind of then say, okay, I'm putting my weight behind this and I need the rest of the country to kind of work with me?
Well, look, right now I'm working on a documentary, which I think is something that, you know, a lot of people should look into and be interested in, because that's where you start, right? You start, you know, knowing where you're from and stuff like that. So on the film side, fortunate enough to be able to tell some dope Eastern Cape stories. But other than that, I think I also myself haven't really put myself out there, you know, in terms of just like creating awareness or like telling my story or like just, you know, showing up in the Eastern Cape a lot, which is what I want to do next year, and hopefully like with some government support and the departments, you know, because also it's like I also have to educate myself in terms of like what government does, which parts of government I need to reach out to. I can't just sit home like everybody else and say, government's not going to do anything, blah, 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 because if I have that attitude, then they're definitely not going to do anything, you know? So I need to be able to know which doors to knock on, you know, and just be able to be there physically. So I can have conversations with the kids that are coming up, and we can build things that can last in that province. You know what I mean? So that's like, you know, you say Eastern Cape was one of the poorest provinces, but it's got like the richest like human beings who all end up leaving and contributing to this province. You know what I mean? So the only way to be able to fix that is to actually put the work in and go for it. You know, because we get here and then things are fine, you know, and we're booming. And we kind of like leave it to other people that are still there to try and carry their own weight and build the province, which I don't think is going to ever work, you know?
I get that. I mean, it is difficult, especially from a financial perspective, because it's a lot of work that needs to kind of be done. Look, it's difficult, obviously, when you look at things from a financial perspective, because everybody wants to get out. Everybody wants to get out the hood. Everybody has this dream that they're chasing. Everybody wants the bright lights. They just don't have the opportunities, or they don't have the funding, or they don't have the money. But I think a story like yours, which is why I think it's important for you to even keep still telling it over and above the documentaries that you're working on, still shine a light on the possibilities of what kids from that space can kind of then say, you know what, Yanga made it out, so I can also kind of make it out. But with you kind of, you know, packing your bags, leaving and saying, yo, I'm gonna go and try and push this Joburg thing, you know, I remember you once saying to me that you left the Eastern Cape to be the hardest Xhosa rapper in the game. Do you think you achieved it?
I think I was quite small-minded back then to think that I want to be the greatest rapper in general of all time. In fact, not even the greatest rapper, just like the greatest human being to have walked this earth, you know? Because for me, I leave Eastern Cape, I come to Joburg and I make my mark. I'm planning to leave Joburg and go out into the world, you know, and make my mark over there. And I think that once I've done that, you know, then it's much easier. Then I can just Trevor Noah my return, you know? Trevor Noah all of y'all, you know, yo, come to the Eastern Cape.
And do a whole like advert, like
do a whole ad, you know? So that is the actual vision. And I think that music, I think, is my biggest tool in order to achieve that. why it hasn't happened yet and why it's taken so long, I think it's always just been like, apart from the circumstances and COVID and all these things, etc. I think the mindset sometimes has taken a knock, at times, because, we can sit here and talk about, how hard it is, etc., etc. But like, if I agree to that and I agree that things aren't working and I agree that the economy is bad, etc., etc., I'm even further than I could be in trying to change that,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even like this show, for example, like we know where it started, all the other guys that left, you know what I mean? But you still here doing your thing. You're actually still working. You come to work regardless of how you feel in the morning. And that's the type of energy that I think probably sometimes critically might have been lacking, from my side. And that's why it's taken so long to actually do certain things that, I should have been done by now.
Yeah.
So that's just what I'm trying to adopt, like a mindset of winning, constantly and repeately. You know what I mean?
When you speak like this now, obviously it speaks of experience, it speaks of time in the game. It also speaks of things that you've kind of learned along the way.
Yeah.
And if you were to kind of look at the kid that you were when you were in Queenstown to who you are now, what is the one lesson that you can sit back and be like, yeah, well, when I went through this thing, I will never, ever, ever forget what that thing taught me, and I'm a better person for it?
I think it just goes back to relationships, my journey in Joburg was quite, tipsy, like was all over the place. Like when I worked for Slick, I was so privileged. I was in all the hardest parties with you guys, I
actually have a story about meeting Yanga.
With you guys and stuff, like all the hardest parties everywhere, right? And I built that confidence to be like, you know what, actually I've outgrown this position. Let me go out and do my own thing. Oh, the world hit me so hard.
Really?
It knocked me so hard. There were times where like, where there were parties going on, I just didn't want to go, because I'm no longer the privileged guy that you
the guy
guys
with access.
Now I'm coming up from nothing now, I've got the access, but I don't feel myself. I don't look myself, I feel on the negative, side of things. So that was something I'll never forget. Like I will never ever get to that point again. And every time I have these negative thoughts about, can I do this? Can I do that? Etc. etc. Like I always just convince myself that it's already done. Like I just need to get up and show up, So that's what I learned down there.
Yeah. I was about to tell my story, but I think I might just depress you if I repeat it.
Don't embarrass me now. Don't embarrass me.
No, I actually think it's
What happened? Tell the people because they want to know now.
I think it's a story of, you kind of going for it. Like, like now you're busy talking about how you kind of needed to kind of get yourself out of those situations or that mindset because you were kind of privileged. Yeah. So the story, it's very like, it's a very nonchalant story. So I meet Yanga, obviously at Ventilation because he's working with Slicker, but he's also at UJ at the time, Sharp. And then Yanga and I decided, you know what, let's go for drinks. Date Nyana situation, but it wasn't really a date. I think we were just going for drinks because we wanted to get drunk. I get wasted. But at this point, Yanga can't drive.
I learned late.
He learned very late.
Sure.
So the privileges of being a passenger.
But didn't I try to? How does the story go?
So now to try and get home. I'm now trying to coach Yanga how to get us home, but he's like trying to drive us home. I'm like, nigga, don't kill us. But I'm also too wasted to actually get home.
Yeah.
Do you even remember that?
Sounds like, I remember that night.
Yeah.
I remember. I just don't remember the driving part, but I do remember us getting wasted one night.
But what I appreciated about that was the fact that, you were at least like willing to be like, no, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to get us home. We're going to make sure that we're safe, whatever. We're going to ride home.
Sure.
And sometimes that's something that you have to kind of tap back into. You know what I mean? When you're sitting back and you're just like, oh, life is low right now.
For sure.
But there are moments where you can kind of get back into the risk factor and say, I'm just going to try whatever I need to try. And I think it also kind of makes me sit back and think about, your time at Ventilation. You went in there as a rapper. You came out a content producer and a videographer. And I always wanted to ask myself, how did you even learn how to, work a camera or to even start editing? Or because sometimes a lot of things are learned on the job.
For sure.
Yeah.
First of all, like even like the job that I was doing, I think I was a website administrator or whatever. That job didn't exist when I got to Ventilation.
Yeah.
So I just hung around long enough to like find something to do that I could convince this guy to pay me for. And so like even the video stuff, I just learned it. Like I just YouTubed it. Like, okay, bro, please buy this camera. I'm going to shoot this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's a software now. Cut it here, edit, blah, blah, blah. So I actually taught myself literally through YouTube on the job, and even film directing and all of that stuff. Like Slick literally just, I don't know if it was cutting costs or whatever.
He was definitely cutting costs. I think we both know he was cutting costs.
You're directing this thing. You're editing this thing. I was like, oh my God, And then like once I did such a terrible job, I was determined to do the best job, like I'm the type of person I feel like, there's talent, and I do have a lot of talent in so many different things.
Yeah.
But I could sit here and say I'm the best tennis player in the world. But if I don't do the hard work that it takes to play tennis, my talent's not going to count anything against nobody that plays tennis. They're going to smash me. They're going to smash me all over the park. So what I did is I actually put time. Like my life was literally evolving around editing and how much time it takes to render and when I got to export this, etc. I'd plan my life around that computer. Like if I'm going for a drink or whatever, I'm saying, okay, I've got 2 hours here. This thing is rendering. Okay, sharp. Come back after 2 hours and work like that, And it just taught me, like, even music. Like, I sit and I make so many songs that will never come out.
Why? Why do artists do that? Can you maybe just shine a light on that? Because I don't think a lot of people actually know how many songs you guys make that you don't release.
Yo, I can't really answer for everybody, but I'll answer for myself. Like, it's a timing thing, Look, I'm reading this book by Rick Rubin now that talks about an idea, So like an idea will come to you, right? And then you sit and try and make it work, blah, blah, blah. And then you end up deciding not to do it. And then somebody else does it, right? It's not that person has stolen the idea from you. But an idea has a life of its own, it lives regardless. So it's going to come out when it's time to come out, So I don't want to talk too much about why I haven't dropped music, but I'll say now that the reason I'm dropping music now is because I had the conversation with myself and with God. Like, I'm like, you know what? Actually, I might not have the best rollout plan.
Yeah.
I might not have the best strategy and whatever. I'm not good at that stuff, right? But I'm good at making this music. So when just keep giving me this music, and when I get it, no matter what happens, they cope.
Yeah.
They cope. Automatic. Like Sony also has like songs of mine that are supposed to come out that I've just already mixed and mastered, packaged, I've sent to them. They'll decide what they think the rollout plan should be, etc. And I find it much more, rewarding for me to move like that now, because when it's just on the computer, like, like if you keep too much music on the computer, God is gonna stop giving you this dope music.
That's exactly what my issue is.
Because it's gonna go there to die, and we're vessels, right? Of like His message or whatever, and it's supposed to heal other people. It's not for us and our friends that come to our house and be like, "Oh, you're actually so dope! Wow!" If people could hear this, and then next year nothing out, So I've let go of also just the response of it. So that's another thing I think some other artists also might have a fear of. It's like maybe the sound is a bit different or whatever, and they would need to wait and maybe introduce it with something else. And such a complicated process. But I think you could also answer this question, because you also might have some songs you haven't dropped.
The songs that I've sent you that you didn't reply to?
Okay, well, are you telling me that you ain't got finished songs that you haven't dropped?
I do. I maybe have like one or two.
What is the reason?
But also my music making process is completely different to an artist, right? So as a DJ, it's always far more difficult for me to produce a project because I have to rely on other people to give me the vocals.
Okay.
So I can sit back and collect like 100 beats.
What is relying? I mean, I didn't give you my verse, but like you could have pulled up on me. You ain't pulled up on me.
You've been missing for like...
You ain't pulled up on me though.
Every time I call you're in the Eastern Cape.
Are you sure? Hey, what about this week? Whatever.
Do you answer
and the
the phone,
week comes
Yanga?
and goes.
Do you answer
Text
the phone?
Me. How am I here?
Do you reply?
How am I here?
Because it's for you. It's not for me.
It's for me. It's for us.
It's not.
Yo,
No.
I'm coming and say, yo, I gotta do Cosmos podcast.
Yeah.
I gotta do it.
So you're saying you have to do the podcast because it's
For
working in your
For
favor.
sure. Even the music, like I can do it. You could pull up on me.
And my argument is, and I know a lot of DJs can back me up on this conversation. It's so much harder for a DJ to make a song.
It's not supposed to be easy.
It's not supposed to be.
Nothing easy is of any value anyway.
I understand that, but as an artist, you can go into studio and rap for 10 songs by yourself and release that.
It's not easy. It's hard.
I get that.
Yeah.
So if I have to rely on somebody else's availability or somebody else wanting to be part or somebody else who buys into the vision.
Let me tell you something. If you got sat in your house for full 7 days saying, I'm going to get this Yanga voice, you would have had it by day 3.
No.
You would have had it by day 3. You would have pulled up on me, caught me in the club somewhere and said, I'm coming home with
How
you.
many times did I ask
Here are
you?
my drinks, whatever. You just didn't push hard enough.
No, you were scared of the beat I sent you.
You didn't get me. Look, I might have a beat like that coming out. I might have a song like that coming out myself.
It's not about me and you right now.
You know?
Okay. We're digressing now. But I hear you.
Saying.
However, I do think you're simplifying a very complicated situation.
I think life needs to be simplified a bit more. I think life is too complicated.
According to you.
Honestly, there's so many things I could have also gone for and I just didn't. Like I didn't show up physically. I didn't go there and get in my car and just go get it.
Yeah.
I waited because obviously now I'm come on, you don't make me come out there. You know? And over time, like the idea goes and like it just doesn't matter anymore. So,
yeah. I hear you. But you know what? I do think it's important to keep releasing and to keep
100%.
recording and getting whatever messages out there. Are there any stories, or I can't necessarily say exact raps because obviously you evolve as a rapper and the way that you write as well. But are there any stories that you might have tapped into from when you were writing in your younger age that you might maybe refined now and released now?
I can't say for sure. I think that, the only common thread, in my music back then and like now are all of those like Afro pop, like relationship, love type of songs.
Yeah.
I'm also not a very confrontational dude, just naturally. So like, I don't have like some bars that would change that would rock niggas.
What do you mean?
No, like threatening bars, like yo, fuck this guy, fuck that nigga. I just don't have that music. But the only thing I could say like is a constant from back then and now, and I've probably like shaped it over the years. It's like the Afro pop stuff, like the music I grew up listening to, man. And I still feel like I want to do more of that music.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I think it's a very like interesting sound.
Yeah.
Still, that I'm very keen on working. But right now I'm just trapping. For now, I mean it's December, easy. Yeah, for sure.
Trapping it out. Okay. What I appreciate also is that from somebody who was just learning on the job to edit, to render, to to kind of put the videos together, and now you're out here making documentaries, you're working with very big artists, and Dr. Kumalo, obviously very big documentary that you've put together there. How are the two worlds kind of coming together for you as one? Because right now it feels very like the videographer Yanga is over there and then Chief is sitting on the side. At what point are they
like
going
Chief
to...
Chief was on the bench.
Chief was waiting for his time to jump on stage. And then Yanga, the director's like, okay, let me just get this bread and then we're going to go on tour. You know what I mean? Like, at what point are they going to collide and do something together?
I think when they actually like are stripped of those titles, as that there's a director Yanga and then there's a musician Yanga.
But you're creating those titles.
How, Sway? The Dr. Kumar documentary says directed by Yanga Chief.
Okay, no, you're being technical now, but I'm
Like,
talking about I'm talking about the personas more than anything.
I don't think so. I think like my persona in directing is not on camera, so you can't really specify and say like what it's like. But I think that the music side of me has been on the bench while, you know, the video stuff I've been working on. But it's not on the bench because I'm doing the film stuff. You know, it's just been on the bench on its own because, you know, I'm just giving it a break. But honestly, like I actually want to live a life where I'm doing both things, or all 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things that I actually do, like on like a daily basis. I don't want to actually be known as a rapper or a director or a dancer or a this or a that.
Do you dance?
I want to be known as Yanga Chief, a thing that does things. You know?
Yeah.
So there's no line when I'm saying, okay, now I'm going to go more into the music, now I'm going to go into the film, now I'm going to go into the fashion or whatever. There's actually no line. Like any idea that comes to me, whether it's fashion, music, film, dance, whatever, or social responsibility or like brand work or whatever, for me, all of it is all inclusive. Like I wake up, I wrote one of the craziest songs the other day just because I spent time on set with Slicker on his competition that he was doing for these upcoming artists, and I was just so inspired and I felt like energetic, and I went straight home and I made an amazing song, which I probably wouldn't have made if I had stayed home and said I'm making a hot song.
Oh, so when you feel like you're forcing it, that's when it doesn't come out.
My thing is that I actually need to physically be moving. Like I need to be walking out the house and being somewhere else and going. If I do more directing, more fashion, whatever, I can actually make more music.
Yeah.
You know? But the minute I want to just make music or just direct or whatever, like physically, I need to be moving. That's all. Like I need to go from this place here. I just came from, I want to get into it. You know? But that's good because by the time I get home and I'm like, I'm home, I feel like making something nice, you know? And that's just how I want it to be, because anything else just put too much pressure on the actual thing. That's what I found. And then it just stifles me. Now I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Now I need to get out of my own head and I'm at home for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you know?
Now it's tricky.
Now it's tricky.
Now it's tricky.
For sure.
Being a director also kind of puts a lot of responsibility on you, because not only are you working with a crew and you have to give them, you know, responsibilities or whatever the case may be, but it's also taxing from a perspective. I mean, we're in Cyril's economy now, you know, pockets are tight. People want to do these big things, but they don't have a lot of money. How would you kind of give advice, maybe say to like up and coming artists, on how to kind of shoot maybe a budget video, but that doesn't look budget? Because I know you've worked with some very small budgets in the past, but then you've given us some quality work out there, you know?
You know, right now, like my mentality is just keep it to one location, man, and throw everything you can in that one location. If your budget is tight, or like even just how you shoot it, make it a slow-mo video. It just goes from this door to the next door, whatever. Just don't think too crazy. If your budget is too small. That's always been the rule since back then. And I think, for example, let me tell you this. You could actually pull off like a high budget looking video with a small budget, but that's not going to help you. Right? I was having this conversation with the Cloud Cassette guy when we were shooting Speedster's video. And we used to be known as the flippers, me and Don Design, right? Because we'd get this budget, you know, and we'd flip it. Like we'd get
when
40.
you guys did the Boom Shakalaka video, I said, you guys definitely didn't have the money to shoot like that.
Take it, flip it, right? Now word gets out that, oh, you guys are the flippers. We can give you 40K, make it look like, you know? I mean, Control, Ranchosi, you know, those budgets were actually quite small, bro. You know? And we flip them, but then what happens is that everybody that comes to you for business is coming with a small budget. So you don't grow. You understand? So I wouldn't advise anyone to try and make the most out of a small budget. I think just keep it in the realms of a low budget video, but be very creative. Be as creative as possible and try and keep it very, very simple. So that when you get a big budget, you know,
you're booming.
People know what you're capable of.
Nice. I like that. Being a creative in so many different aspects also kind of puts you in a space where you're constantly having to think outside the box. And obviously, as an artist, you need to write new songs, or you need to think of new concepts for brands, or whatever documentary that you're working on. How do you get yourself out of a when you, what do they call it, when you just can't think anymore? You're in like a creative
writer's block.
Yes, a writer's block. That's the one where you're just like, I can't do it. When nothing is coming out, you've got zero ideas.
Go to gym, my G.
To gym? Nigga, you build in the gym. What do you mean?
I'm not lying though.
I used to go to this. I actually still go to the same gym. He's the one who bailed on that gym.
Bro, I'm not lying. Let me tell you, gym is like it's like church or like therapy, right? In a sense that like once you go, and then like now your head is clear, whatever. Then your ego starts seeping in, and you're like, actually, it's me. It's not really him, you know.
Because you're punching the bag
really
now.
like that guy, you know, like. And then you stop going to gym, and it takes a while for you to fall off, like mentally.
Yeah.
Once you stop going to gym, even physically, it takes a while. You still feel like you can punch somebody, you know. But after a year, you know, mentally now you're reading and all of these things and blah blah blah. Just go to the gym, bro. Exercise your body.
Really?
That's my advice. Honestly, it's like church. You know, you go to church and things start changing. Now you forget God.
Things get better, and then you forget where the blessings come from.
People, I think, especially like black people or whatever, they've really underestimated the mental contribution of exercise. Even if you don't go to gym, go for a run, bro.
Yes.
Just like
clear your mind.
Feel like you're, you know. And then come back and try again, you know. But you're not going to get it right just by sitting there and thinking, I need to get this thing out of my head. Let me play another beat. We're going to play 1,000 beats and make 2 songs. And they're going to suck. Go for a run, my guy.
Really?
Drink some water.
Do you ever get like a creative block when you're sitting with someone in studio and they're forcing you to get this verse out and they need it today because it's deadline hour now? Have you ever had a moment like that where you're in studio with someone and you're just like, yo, this thing is not coming out today?
100%. I think quite a few of the songs actually.
But then eventually you got them out.
Yeah, I've never really like held on to. I actually don't want to rap on the mic if I don't have the verse correct. You know, I probably leave like half or whatever, and probably like try come back to it or whatever, make another song. You know, I need to also feel like the person that's asking me for this verse is willing to do anything that it takes, which means they're willing to allow me to get there. You know, so like if we're pushing for this and it's not coming out and I'm like, play another beat, make another song, then we'll come back to your song or whatever. Yeah, that's how I usually.
Really?
Yeah.
Were there any songs that you needed to like go back to a couple of times before you actually got the one?
The worst songs. Sorry to say this, like
it's fine. It's your honest opinion.
The worst thing is to do like a song, and then like not hear anything about it for like a year, and then a year later, hey, but we're shooting this video. I actually don't mind that because I understand how it goes, but at least give me the opportunity to redo my verse or rework my verse. You know?
Why? What's changed?
I could have changed. I could have like, probably got a new style that I'm doing, you know, or like new things that I have to say. Like that's the past or whatever. Or maybe I just don't like that verse, you know. Just give me an opportunity though, you know, to like, yo, the song is coming out now. Anything, any last final changes, I really appreciate that. Yeah. It helps me push also. Like
sounds like it's happened to you a couple times.
Not really, but you know, I think it's just difficult to push the song with someone when you don't really like the verse anymore. You know?
I hear that.
Like now you have to push the song. What I want to create right around me and people that I collaborate in music with, right? I want to make music with people that we can make the song now and have a plan to drop it within the next 3 to 4 or 5 months. For example, the Speedster song, we think we did it in June or whatever. And he just came back like, yo, let's do the video for here's the mix, how you like it, blah, blah, blah. I said, yo, perfect. It still feels like now. It still feels like, and the way that we made it wasn't under duress. Like, we gotta get the song out. We're literally in Cape Town, vibing, like, yo, let's get the studio out here, blah, 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 So very organic and very much like how I make my music, So that's like, I appreciate those type of things,
Yeah.
But I understand it, it's always complicated to just drop something whenever. But the reason I like guys like Slick, whatever, it's almost like, yo, if it's booming right now, they can play it in the club tonight. The song I did with Slick, actually, with Mahu and Too Short, we literally made it. And I think he was playing at altitude, and we bounced it and went to play it at altitude. And like, people when they don't know a song but abafunu jambis, and like, oh, okay, it's in the groove, because
yes. As soon as the energy doesn't change in the club, you got a good one. You say, what, this one is the one for me.
For sure. Can I ask you something?
Wow. Okay, my co-host is back.
No, sorry.
Yes.
I mean, since we're here on the topic of making the music,
okay,
why is it that most DJs, like when you make a song, let's say it was just you and the DJ, or like maybe there was other artists and whatever. Why is it that when the song, like we record the song or whatever, what is it that makes DJs want to always drop songs with lots of artists on them? Why can't you just drop a song with one artist on it?
I think it's each to his own. I think everybody has different reasons for doing things the way that they want to do it. Sometimes it works with one person. Sometimes you need an extra flavor. Sometimes you want to add a little bit of spice. That's my thinking. That's my opinion. But sometimes it works with just one person, and then that person can push the song. Do you have any songs
with one person?
I don't, because I like being able to put in collaborations with people that I admire, who I know wouldn't originally work with each other if it wasn't for me.
So that's your thing.
That's my thing.
The DJ Khaledness.
Yes, the DJ Khaledness, where you sit back, you be like, I never would have put them on a song together. But shout out to Miss Cosmo.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Got you.
So different people work different ways. And that's how I approach my collaborations, is to sit back and be like, I really like these people. I think they will all work.
So you're a collaborative DJ. I would have, I think we're collaborating on the song.
Yeah.
Like C2.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, and that's definitely a collaboration.
For sure.
But I think it also adds to the talkability of the song.
Look, I think I agree with you, and I understand exactly what you mean. I just also feel that, at this point in this industry, every single time a DJ is dropping a song, they are expecting more than one person.
Okay.
And for me, like as a consumer, if I can sit out and just be a consumer, the predictability of it already makes it a bit, because who does she have on? No, it's just, okay, must be a fire one. You're getting me involved now. I want to hear why didn't Yanga do the song by himself?
Yeah.
Why is he doing it with you?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, the variety, I think, is what we could do more with in the industry, and especially in times like this where you can't get people's verses. You should actually just sit down with one person and make a dope song, regardless of genre, regardless of what. And actually, I actually gave you one of the other songs, and you were like,
didn't.
nah, that wasn't the direction you were going for.
When?
That Bambelela one. I actually gave you Bambelela. It's at Civil Studio.
No, first we'll talk about this off air. However, you sent it to me after I chased you firstly, and then I changed my direction, just like you also changed your opinion.
I'm just saying, you changed on me. You changed, bro.
Wow, I even forgot about that song.
Exactly. And I've been saying, give me that song. Let me release it.
Oh, but I said have it.
Give me, man.
I don't even have the steps.
By the way, the song is called Bambelela.
I don't even have the steps.
It used to be a Miss Cosmo song. Now it's my song. So anytime I drop it, please go and listen to that song and come back and tell Miss Cosmo she made a mistake. Thank you.
We're going to work on it. Don't worry. We're going to fix it. We're going to make sure we're back in the game. Now, when we're in a space now where South African music is obviously being shipped all over the world, right? By virtue of Amapiano,
For sure.
3-step, Afro house, the works. And they always just kind of feels like there's a lag behind with hip hop, you know? And I know everybody has, like you were saying, like you Young Chief, you're also trying to go international. You're trying to take this thing to the world. What do you think it is about SA hip hop that is just not reaching?
It's their reluctance to move away from this 808. It's like, that's not what makes it hip hop, guys. You understand? The beat must... That's not what makes it hip hop. Like, there's so many rappers, even on the African continent, in Nigeria and whatever, that have real rap songs, that also have some dance songs or whatever, you know? I think that we need to be able to understand that what makes the song South African rap is the South African person that's rapping on it. You know?
Dope. Okay.
So this 100% fully strictly trap thing, it was always not gonna last. You know, like you can't just be rapping on that 808 for the rest of your life, bro. You know, you have to at some point, like what do you do in parties? Like, do you just sit down the whole night? Like, not talk to nobody until like rap comes on, you know? And I'm asking that because I also used to feel like that in the club. Like, oh, here's this piano thing, hoping it would go away. It's not going anywhere. It's not
going anywhere.
You know, but it's not just piano that we have as an option when it comes to dance music in South Africa. Why is nobody rapping on house beats?
Yeah.
You know? Why is nobody rapping on whatever? You know, like, there's so many options and so many things. And I think that producers in this country especially, and including the hip hop ones, if you look at like the sound of like the MTs, you know, Abo Raf, Abo Bani, that sound is not necessarily like rappy rap, right? It leans and it lends itself towards like different genres, and until the South African hip hop artist is also as flexible, I don't think that it's gonna go past Joburg. I don't think so.
Really?
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay, so
I can't wait for someone to prove me wrong. But
why don't you prove us wrong?
Nah, but I'm open. I'm gonna rap on any beat.
Okay.
I'm gonna rap on any beat. Like, when I get to like UK, or when I get to wherever, like States or whatever, Nigeria, whatever, do you think I'm gonna be asking for boom bap? Like, yo, no, play me my boom bap. Like, why am I isolating myself from the people? I'm also part of the people, Chief. Play this beat, that's nice, and let me see what I can add to it. I'm South African hip hop myself personally. You know, so wherever I sit, wherever I'm on, like, trust me, I can do that. You know,
there was a point where you showed your versatility in a lot of the music that you were releasing, more so obviously relatable to the collabs that you were doing with KEAN, as like the Afro pop guy.
For sure.
Was that intentional?
Yeah, I grew up with Afro pop.
Yeah.
Like, for Eastern Cape, the biggest genre is house music, Afro pop, you know. So I actually do want to do like some house stuff, like proper house music. Like,
do a full-on project?
No, I'm not doing any more.
So angry.
Let me tell you.
Not gonna make it. Not today.
Let me tell you. Right now, my head is not in a project space. You know, I might drop a project because I actually owe my label one more project.
Yeah.
You know, then I can go figure myself out and whatever. But I'm really like into like my single run, you know, like different sounds and whatever, you know. You'll see as they start coming out, you know, how open I am to different things or whatever. But I feel like a project is so stifling because now I have to decide that I'm working this sound, and I have to go tell everybody about the sound. Where does the sound come from? Blah blah blah. I need to give you a whole entire speech about the sound and how much I'm into it. Next thing, I need to start learning how to dance. I need to, you know, so many things. When actually, to be honest with you, I just had something to say on that beat, and I feel like it's easier for me to just get away with that when I just do my singles, do my nice videos that match my singles, and have like a full rollout done. You know, instead of taking on so much work.
I can imagine.
You know, and then your album's just gonna sit there until like you shoot a video for every
single song. Yeah.
Hey, South Africa.
Yanga's done with you, basically. You're saying, I'm not about it anymore.
Look, I feel like I can say what I want now because like I actually like put in so much hard work in everything that I do. Like, you know, sometimes someone's like overconfident or arrogant or whatever. you can see when someone's faking it.
Yeah.
You know, when they just saying, Jay, whatever, this is not going to last. But those people like your KEANans that are actually arrogant and confident and huge ego, it's because of all the work they did behind the scenes that nobody's actually watching. So all the time spent and the money put in and the running around and the making sure, that's the reason, that's what gives them confidence to talk their shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I hear you. Yeah. I hear you. Speaking about your relationship with KEAN, obviously everybody knows like you had a camaraderie. You guys were boys. You worked a lot together. You were also just boys. You hung out. Do you have a moment or like a specific story where you can sit back and be like, actually, this guy's crazy. Like, should I continue working with this guy like this? Or is it going to work for me? Is it not going to work for me? What's the direction?
Jeez.
Because I think everybody knows he was crazy, but we loved him for it. It's not like it wasn't a con for him. It worked in his favor. But sometimes you look at your friends and you're like,
yeah. I think all the times like it was just going crazy online for me. Like, you know, I was still like also just coming up. So I was being told behave like this, you know, the brands and what. So every like tweet, there was a point where like every tweet he tweeted was like risking it all. You know, and like, yo, we're going to be blacklisted, you know, from the industry and stuff like that. You guys
are not going to perform.
Yeah. And so like, there was times I'm like, man, should I really be, you know, here? But the thing is, KEAN did everything hard, right? Yeah. So like he would hate hard and he would love hard.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you couldn't just walk away from someone who actually believes in you. And at that time, he believed in me more than me. So every time I needed like a confidence boost or whatever, I just go hang around him.
Yeah.
You know? And he was the first person to always remind me on site, like how great I am as a musician, style, whatever, everything. Like, you know, so even those moments came when I was like, nah, this is too much. Like I honestly, like I owed him so much, you know, that I could never just like, you know, call it.
Yeah, man. I mean, definitely, you know, somebody that I think all of us miss in one way or another. We might have thought he was a little bit outside of the box, too much for the rest of us. But like you're saying, like he was definitely extremes of both, either loving too hard or just going crazy too hard. But that's what made him him. You know what I mean? And I guess
dying breed. Everybody's soft these days.
Do you think you're getting a lot of your confidence these days from looking back at the life that he lived?
I think every time I do something in confidence, like I have that moment where I'm like, oh, that's why KEAN was. What was I so scared of? Because I don't understand. Like sometimes I look back at my mindset and I'm like, dude, what were you thinking all these years? Because like, what are you ever gonna get from a place of comfort except more of what you don't want?
Yeah,
which is what you have, right? Like. Through pain, it's like Jim again. Through pain, then you get the results. Then you get the growth, and like it takes you places that you haven't been. You know, I have this thing of like, for a couple of years, I'm socially anxious. Like I've got social anxiety. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be there. Blah 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 blah. You know. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares, bro? Walk into that room and speak to whoever you feel like you need to speak to, have the conversation and keep it moving. You don't have to speak to everybody in the room with your social anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, just go there and speak and connect to the people that you need to connect to. You can be a prisoner of like that comfort zone. Like, and I used to mask it with like, nah. Yo. You can't have me like all out there like that, you know? Like I'm that nigga.
Yeah.
You know, I used to mask it with that. Cares, bro.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like right now, like if I see anybody that I think like would be dope for me, like whether it's just like an engineer or like a musician or a videographer or whatever, I'm stepping up. I'm shooting my shot.
Nice.
Straight up.
I like that.
Because I know it's gonna be worth it, and I know it's gonna be fire, and I know we're gonna make money.
Yes, that's dope. I saw you tweeting the other day, and you said your favorite KEAN phrase was "eat shit."
Eat shit.
So basically, you're telling everybody, eat shit.
But you see, like I said, it can only come after hard work.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't be sitting at home on your computer saying, eat shit.
Nah. But you're doing nothing.
You gotta be working. When you know, like, can't believe I did this. It's done. Thank God. Y'all niggas eat
shit. I love that.
For sure.
I love that so much. Oh goodness, there's so many moments, but he's definitely one to be remembered. Something else that I also just recently found out that I didn't realize was a reality for you was that you played the trumpet.
For sure.
Do you still play the trumpet?
Hell no.
Why? Because I think it would be really dope for you to say, I played the trumpet on my song.
You see, now that you put it out there, it's probably something I'm going to try and do.
I think that would be really dope because not everybody can do that.
Sure. Look, I had this one guy play a trumpet on my Popstar album, and while the trumpet was there, I hadn't played in over like a decade. So I tried to play it, and it didn't sound like I'd ever played it.
Because you stopped practicing.
For sure, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, but I do think that if I actually practiced, I could actually go back to being a dope trumpetist.
Is it a trumpetist or trumpeter?
Londi, Trump.
Something.
Donald Trump. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I'll actually, for you, I'll actually try and do that. Like, I'll let you know when it happens.
Okay, so Yanga said I need to pull up. I'm going to pull up and I'm going to make him do it. And when the song comes out, please remember to come back and revisit this video.
For sure.
Okay?
For sure. There's nothing I can't do, by the way. Not just a trumpet.
Yes,
can do everything.
Yes, we're not.
Just ask me nicely.
Yes, we're not.
I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know this new Yanga, but I would
It's not new. It's not new, guys. Come on, it's not new. It's not new.
He's always been here. Maybe he's just been hiding in other places.
Yeah, I think I was just like more reserved for everybody's sake.
Yeah. What's the new direction for Yanga? What can we kind of expect in the future? Because like you said, you've spoken about the past. You've dwelled on who you were, where your come up was, whatever the case may be. Everybody knows that story now. What are you seeing for yourself in the next couple of years to say, okay, if I actually put my head down and I go to the gym and I pick up them weights, this is where I'm going to end up?
There's absolutely no telling. I think, fortunately enough for me, like my creativity has always been a part of me, up or down. So like I can only imagine what I'm going to be doing when I hit the gym like that. Can only imagine how far
When last did you go to the gym?
How far I'm going to be dreaming. It's been a while. It's been a while. I haven't been to the gym since I think June. Yeah, it's been a long time. So but yeah, I think once I finish this Yanga project, this internal one, I think there's no telling. Like I've always wanted to just like be overseas and like just take everything in, because I feel like even my mentality right now, because I haven't traveled as much as I should have. Yeah. As much as I feel like I'm dreaming big, it's not really that big. And sometimes you just need to like physically put yourself outside of your country, so just to open your mind a bit. So there's no telling what I'm going to do. But definitely films are coming out that I'm going to direct, that I've created and I've written already, that I'm working on. Music, obviously. And I just want to showcase everything, like just keep reminding me there in the comments what you like me for. I'll just revisit that and do that again. Like, would
you get back into acting?
For sure. No problem. Easy with the script and everything. Yeah. I'm multi-talented. Multi. I can't wait actually for an acting opportunity.
Created.
I am.
Ooh.
I am.
Okay.
But if any other one comes up in the meantime, I'd totally dive in. So like anything I do, like, but I'm using music as my vehicle, obviously, because it attaches everything that I love. So like, just listen to my music that comes out, the things I'm saying, watch my videos, and you'll see like my mentality and all of those things, and the skill level and the taste level, and the way that I care for my craft, you know, and my appreciation for everything that I have and the people that are in my life and all of those things. I think you'll be able to see it by watching my music and being like, okay, we can actually feel it. Yeah. You
used to call yourself young legend.
Yeah.
Do you think you're all encompassing of a legend now?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, 100%. It's not always fair, but like from where I'm from, fuck yeah. So now I just need to instill it now, like in Joburg, like, you know, which means I need to surpass Joburg.
Yes.
You know, you get out of this country, you know, do some crazy things out there. I just can't wait to meet other creatives, you know, from everywhere else.
Nice.
You know?
Well, here's the opportunity. I mean, this is going to be on YouTube. Hopefully you'll connect to some people and, you know, we'll see.
When is this coming out?
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to watch this. I'll be in the States already, walking around in my gown, saying we made it.
Yeah, we're going to drop it and you're going to be like, we recorded that thing last year. Now you want me to release it now? No, don't worry about it. It'll be out when it's out, but we do appreciate your time and your energy. And I think the reason why I also brought you in is because I wanted to showcase this new energy that you have, because I say this as somebody who's known you from when you started to the person who you were when you were reserved, and now you're just out here like going after it. So as a friend, I'm appreciating it. I'm really supportive of it, and I think you need to go out there and get it. But I really also think it's important for people to see it so that they can get some sort of motivation out of whatever energy that you are exuding right now, to kind of then, you know, give it to the people. So shout outs to you, man. I think it's really dope to see you grow the way that you are, and you know, maybe when we have you back, you're gonna be talking to us as director Yanga, having done Hollywood film, you know, score. You know, you did the score as well, because the main song is Yanga Chief. You know, maybe you've played the trumpet on it as well, done a lead role. I don't know.
Hey man, it's limitless. You never know.
Exactly.
You never know. Yeah, but thanks for having me. Yeah. Hopefully everybody, you know, you got a little sneak peek into the energy we're moving on right now.
Yeah. Do you want to press your lost button? You're busy looking for one.
Let me. Game over. For now.
For now.